Amanda Lutvey.
Hello everyone and welcome to Just As Planned TV and podcast. My name is Amanda Lutvey and I am from Marry Me Amanda, and I am thrilled to be one of the hosts of this podcast for season 3. Now today I am so excited to introduce you to Dani Rathman. Dani is the owner and the creative genius behind a company called Pawfect Love, and I'm going to not steal her thunder. I'm going to let her tell you what that is in a minute. But look, I just want to tell you a little bit about Dani first. So Dani started a career actually as an occupational therapist before doing what a lot of us do today and starting a side hustle. And it's a creative side hustle that has become so big, it's now her key focus. That and her 3 little people. She is the mum of 3, including 2-year-old twins. So I absolutely take my hat off to her for that. Amazing superwoman already. But Dani lives in Adelaide with her little family, and she works with wedding couples all over the world with Pawfect Love. And I cannot wait to bring you her story and to talk more about what that is and how it all works, because I am so excited to have discovered your business, Dani. So welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Amanda. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to chat with you all. So did you want me to tell you a little bit more about Pawfect Love?
I would love that. Tell us what it is you do.
All right. So in the shortest way, I sculpt pets so that they can be part of couples' weddings. So whether the pets can't actually attend the day, or they've passed away, it's a way that couples can still have them there, whether they want them on as a cake topper. I'm sure lots of people have seen some really cute photos of cakes that have got a little hiding dog or a little naughty dog that's been eating into the cake. Or one of the other things I specialise in is cufflinks. So a little bit more of a subtle way to have a pet recognised, and a little keepsake of the pet that can be there on the day, which also makes really, really sweet little photos. And they're obviously all handmade, hand sculpted, paint the details on, so they all look just like your important little fur family member. Yeah, so
I
that's what I do.
Love this. I just love this. Dani and I were having a chat prior to this, and I said when I saw her business name come up, I thought you were going to be one of those people who takes pets and helps them be part of a ceremony. But then to hear what you do, this is such a cool way to involve pets. As a celebrant, I absolutely love it when, I've had dogs walk brides down the aisle as part of wedding parties, as ring bearers, but there's a lot of the time where maybe you've got a cat and the cat doesn't want to come along to the wedding ceremony. So what a great idea. What a great way to include them.
Yeah, thank you. I also absolutely adore pet chaperone services, and I think they do the most fantastic job when you actually do want mostly dogs that I think that they cater to, but when you want them there, it's the photos, I adore them when pets can actually attend. But yeah, like you said, sadly it's not always possible, and there's a number of reasons. Sometimes it's the personality of the pet. They don't like being around crowds, or that they're going to be anxious or misbehaved or boisterous, and even with a dedicated pet chaperone, it's it's not going to go well, and you as the couple don't want to be stressing about, oh my goodness, what are they going to do? You want to be focused on what you're there for. So, and sometimes the venues won't actually allow pets. So yeah, that's another thing to think about. Or sadly, there are times that the pets are no longer with you. Unfortunately, they have a lot shorter lives than we do. So it does happen quite often that they've already passed, but they're still. It doesn't mean that they're any less important to your life as yourself or as a couple. So it's really sweet then when they can still be recognised in that way.
And look, and I think these days pets are, especially for young couples, it's often the first your first baby, isn't it? And so they are a big part of a lot of couples' story. And to include your pets in some way in your ceremony and your day is just so beautiful. I just absolutely love this. So yeah, it's great.
Absolutely. I feel the same. A lot of couples, it's one of the first big commitments that you make together is even often now it's before you can buy a house together or something. A pet is so often one of those really big commitments, and then it becomes such a big focus of your life. So it's part of your story, having a pet, and they're a family member, and quite often we want all of our family members, especially the ones that we love and that we want around us on our big day, to be there. So I think that's totally why we've seen such a rise in like pet chaperone services as well, and all the photos of pets that are attending, and whether they're the ring bearer or part of the bridal party is really sweet, or they're welcoming guests in. There's so many ideas of how to have pets involved. I love it.
Yeah, as I said, as a celebrant, I absolutely say yes to animals as part of ceremonies. You know, it's it does always, it adds that surprise element, and the you really don't know what's going to happen, so you do need to be very flexible on the day. But I love what you do, and I think this is such a beautiful idea for people. So how does it work if I wanted to have my pet as made of cufflinks or something similar? What's your process? How does it start?
Yeah, so it's evolved, and I've made it as easy as possible for couples now. So I do have a website. The website has lots of your frequently asked questions, and it's also where you go to place your order and pay, and choose your size. And there's lots of questions that are answered in terms of helping you choose what's going to be best. And there's some bundle sets, or whether you're looking at the cufflinks or little bouquet charms. So that's a really sweet one when your pet's passed away. Or if you're a bit of like I was, as a bride, I didn't love the attention being on me, especially at the start, and just knowing that your important pet is so close to you and you're holding them as you go down the aisle. That's one of my favorite ones. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. You can tell I love what I do.
You do. Anyway, I love it.
You purchase through the website and simply respond to your order confirmation with all your photos. And if it's for the cake topper, because I make it all from scratch, they can be in any pose you like, whether they're they're a digger and you want them digging at the cake. So you just respond to your confirmation email with, I say, spam me with as many photos as possible. The more people send through, the more accurate I can get the result. And also any poses, any of your favorite facial expressions that you know, whether they're cheeky, whether they have a particular facial expression that just makes you laugh. They're the kind of details that I love to know, and telling me a bit about their personality. If you're not sure what sort of pose you want for the cake topper, often I'll have a bit of a chat, either on socials or via email, with the couple about what the personality of the pet was like, so that we can come up with a pose that's just exactly them, and the guests will laugh at. And also, because the cake toppers, they're not made from sugar or anything that will perish, they last forever. So it's also about what pose you want them in for the rest of your, because you get to keep it from then, and wherever you want to display it at home after the day. And go from there. And
what do you make it out of?
So the polymer clay is the base, but inside the cake toppers is I've actually got some here. I can show you some that I'm working on at the moment.
Oh my God, how cute. That's so sweet.
So I start off with a wire base to get the shape, and then it's a foil, and then it's polymer clay. That's all sculpted. And then once it's all baked and ready to go, I paint the details on, so that get it as accurate as possible, because I know that some cake makers will actually offer to do pet cake toppers, but when they are made from fondant or sugar, they often the result is more of a cartoony caricature kind of, and it ends up looking a little bit more generic, whereas the materials that I use, I guess that's how I can achieve that really realistic, like unmistakably your pet outcome with the materials that I use. Yeah.
I love it. It's amazing. And tell me, so you can ship these anywhere, can't you? So I know you have. Are you sending these all over the world?
Yeah, all over the world. They're very popular in North America at the moment, and also I do quite a number to the UK, particularly for people that are eloping into Europe, because obviously they can't. It's not that easy for them to take their pets with them if they're eloping. So they love a really sweet little way of taking their pets with them, having them part of the day, or like a way to recognise how important their pets are to them. But obviously it's a lot easier to pack a little box of cufflinks and a bouquet charm into their suitcase than it is to take the pets physically. So yeah, that's certainly the UK is certainly growing in popularity there as well. So yeah, certainly.
Well, how fabulous. That's awesome. And Dani, you've been in business since 2015. I'm really interested in your business journey. How did you start, and how did you, I suppose, focus in the wedding market?
Yeah, so I think back in when I started, I was, like I said, I was an occupational therapist. I was working rurally, and I was at the time I was actually in community mental health. So it was a fairly emotional and draining place to work. So I didn't realise, but it turns out I've always been a bit of a creative person, and so I had this creative outlet that just was started as a hobby and kind of evolved, and I was working with lots of different materials for and then doing more and more earrings, and I was working with polymer clay, loved polymer clay, and that what I could do with it, and that sort of evolved into people seeing the creations that I was making going, could you do my pets? And so I started doing some pet earrings, and that became more and more popular, and the more people that saw, oh, you do pets, can you do my pets? And then I started getting more questions for, well, if you can do pets as earrings, can you make them as cufflinks instead? Because I'd love them for my partner for the wedding. And then that grew and grew, and then I was like, I just loved that marriage, pardon the pun, the marriage between pets and weddings. And so I leaned into it. I loved hearing the stories. I loved seeing the photos of how what I could create with my hands, how that would end up being, I know, physically small, but quite a meaningful part of such an important day. And it just really fed my soul. I loved what I could do for the couples, even though I feel like I was still doing meaningful work as an occupational therapist. Very, very different work. And then I guess I was at the point where I was still working full time, but I was getting home every night and then working on my side hustle, which was growing, and then the weekends were also taken up by that, and sort of made that decision. We were actually in rural Queensland at the time. Yes, when it was really taking off, and I had to make that decision. All right, do I start to work less as an OT and more in my business? And then my husband moved. He got a new job in Victoria, so we moved there, and it was like perfect timing. There weren't any OT jobs around at the time, and I was like, great, let's go all in. And let's do it. Let's do it before we had kids. And then obviously it worked so well once we did start our human family. That I could continue to work from home and take breaks as I needed to, as the family grew. Yeah.
I love that. And it's really inspiring. It's so inspiring. I think so many people have side hustles these days. And often in weddings, we all start out that way, don't we? Like whatever you do, whether you're a celebrant or you're a photographer or whatever it might be. Yes. A lot of people in the wedding industry start out as side hustlers, and then they hope that one day, like yourself, it's going to get to the point where it takes over. So, yeah, really inspiring. Yeah. So great to hear.
And I think it's hard not to get the passion in this industry of like
100%.
How you can't be filled with love with what you do. Totally. I can see why it even if it starts as a side hustle, it's so fulfilling that I think that's how so many of us end up being so passionate and wanting it to grow that way. Yeah.
100%. And I think, there's, those days where you've just worked all weekend and you've missed out on family things, but you leave. For me as a celebrant, I leave every wedding and I'm so fulfilled, and I'm so it's the love bubble. You're in this love bubble constantly, and you want more of that because it does give you a real. It's so fulfilling, as you said, like personally, but it's also being part of people's really special day. We get one shot at it. We have to make sure we're on our A game every time. And it's same as you. You're creating something that people are going to keep forever. It's just it's absolutely gorgeous. So tell me about can you share one of your couple stories? I'm sure you've got many, but have you got one that was a bit meaningful that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah. So this was one. The wedding was a few months back now. Recently saw the photos and the videos from the day, and I teared up. I couldn't. Yeah. So little Cleo, this beautiful Basenji, a huge part of this couple's life and their love story, and their dream was that Cleo was going to be the little ring bearer and be part of the wedding. Sadly, it was only a few months out of the wedding, and unexpectedly she actually passed away. And so they originally found my work, and the bride organised a pair of cufflinks for her fiance, who she was going to surprise him on the day, because Cleo was such a big part of his life as well. And she got the cufflinks, arrived, fell in love with them, and contacted me and said, "Do we have time for me to make a cake topper as well?" Because she saw the result. And so they had the cufflinks as part of the day, and then also the cake topper of Cleo as well. So really meaningful, and it's a way that she could still be part of the day, even though, sadly she wasn't there physically anymore. Yeah, and now also they've got this beautiful little figurine to display at home, which is both a memory of their special day of the wedding, but also of Cleo's whole life as well, and the love that they shared as a family. So I'm probably going to tear up just thinking about it. Yeah.
I know. You know what? And I think that's what weddings does for us. It makes us feel. Weddings make us feel. So no matter what part of the story you're part of as a vendor, I think we do all get really emotionally attached to our couples, because it's a big thing getting married. Yeah. So, and you're making me go, oh my God, I've got to jump on your website and order one for my fur baby. So even though I'm already married, I can still order one, can't I? It doesn't have to be attached
absolutely.
To a wedding.
So yes, so I do. You'll see on my website, which I mentioned is where you order. So not only do I have the whole section for weddings, and I think the big things that I do are the cake toppers, the cufflinks, and the bouquet charms. But I do also just have other keepsake gifts that are all pet related. But key rings, lanyards, also for those sad times, so like the memorial boxes. I do also do other accessories and gifts or earrings of the people that want to have their pets with them all the time. So yes, certainly weddings is where my big passion is, but I do cater to other people that aren't getting married or are already married as well. So that's
I love
you'll find that all on the website.
You are obviously extremely passionate about what you do. It comes through when you're talking about it, and it's amazing. If I were to ask you what you love about what you do the most, can you choose one thing?
You know what? I love the fact that I get to sit and use my hands to create something meaningful, but honestly, that I get to stare at pictures of cute pets all day. So, yeah, and hear their stories,
Fantastic.
hear the stories of the pets as well. So, yes, I love it. I love that.
Beautiful. So how do couples listening find you? Where can they find you? Where can they see your work? I know you mentioned your website. You're also on Instagram. Tell us your hashtags and everything else. We will obviously list them as part of putting this to air. But yeah, tell us where people can find you.
Thank you. Probably, yes, the easiest way to see what I do is to see it. So Instagram's a great place to start. So my handle is at Pawfect, so PAWFECT love, LOVE.au, so at pawfectlove.au. And then also my website is pawfectlove.com.au. So that's where you can order. You can also see photos there, but yeah, certainly Instagram's a great place to start. You'll also find me on Facebook as well, same Pawfect Love or pawfectlove.au on Facebook as well. Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, Dani, it has been such a pleasure to meet you. And I love the power of technology that we can connect, even though I'm on the Gold Coast and you're in Adelaide. And, you know, it's just great to chat to you and hear your passion for what you do. And I just think this is such a creative and different addition to someone's wedding. And I really hope that I wish you all the best. I hope that you have amazing continued success. And I know there'll be a lot of couples tuning in, trying to work out how to plan their ceremony, who are going to go, we definitely need a Pawfect Love addition to our day. So thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thanks for having me on.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Justice Planned Weddings podcast. Please like and subscribe to let us know that you want more videos just like this one. And of course, please follow us on our socials at Justice Planned Wedding on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube for more expert insights to help your wedding go just as planned.